Let's pay homage to the Venerable Monk Liao Ming, to Master Sakya Tsum-Kong, and homage to His Holiness the 16th Karmapa, and homage to Master Dukten Dorje, homage to the three jewels of the altar, homage to the group, the deity of the group practice today, the greatly merciful and compassionate Guan Yin Bodhisattva. Simu, all Dharma masters, Dharma educators, Dharma teachers, Dharma instructors, Dharma assistants, all disciples present here and over the webcast, and our participating VIPs today. The Taipei rep to Sweden and Norway, Ambassador Daniel Liao and Madam Liao, Dharma Sister Judy. Producers for Kini Dian Sang Xin Den from CTI TV Taiwan, Dharma Sister Rebecca Xiaqi, and Dr. Su Lin, Dr. Ryan Zhuang, and the advisors to the overseas compatriot Chinese, Miss Winnie Che, and the former director of the Lotus Light Charity of Society of Taiwan, Dharma Brother Wu Guande. And many more people who came from faraway places, and masters. So good evening everyone, how do you do? Just now we listened to Master Lien O, the director of the True Buddha Tantrayana Association of Taiwan. And also Simu's speeches. Master Lien O mentioned about the holy sage, but I can't accept that reference because I'm just an ordinary human. In the past, my guru transmitted Dharma to me. He taught me to spread the tantric Dharma, and my gurus taught me a lot. Each of them. That's why you learn a lot of tantric Buddhism, all the way from the highest one, the Adharma Buddha, to the lowest one, the earth god. And we have learned so many Buddha Dharma. Of course, I know quite a lot of Tantric Dharma. And because you learn too much. Like the kung fu. You know, so if someone hit you, I can't think of which one to use to react. So if you learn too much, sometimes your reaction would become none because you learn too much. It becomes too complex and complicated. So I would like to admit that I'm just a Buddhist practitioner, but I cannot accept to be called a holy sage. I'm the same as everybody. I have greed, anger, and delusion. It's just that I can control them better, that I can control myself better. Although I have greed, I cannot let it go out, let it be out of control. So if you can control it even a little bit, that's good enough, so that you're not so greedy. And anger and hatred, of course, everybody would have their own temper, and you want to control your own temper the best you can. You cannot lose your temper without reasons. Then you would look like the angry old man. And delusion, because you have practiced Buddhism, then you have lucid eyesight, that you can see a lot of things, and a lot of things are clear to you, but yet you cannot say anything about it. So sometimes silence is better. So there are certain things that you cannot say, so you have to be able to control that. So that's why I can't call myself a holy sage. Like, of course, I can't do that. There was one person that can do it and to become like a holy sage, and that's X. She's always very holy and very great. Nobody exceeds her. She's much better than Confucius even. Confucius is a sage. Confucius was a sage, and she's even greater. So, we cultivate spiritually. So I've only cultivated spiritually for 40 years. How can we compare to her 30 million years cultivation? So I always admire her. So we can call her a sage, but I'm just an ordinary being. And what Simu said about... No, actually, not Simu, it's Master Lian O. that Grandmaster, what you says counts. No, I don't dare to accept that. I don't have such power that your words counts is something that the Earth Mother Goddess placed at X forehead. No, it's not for me. That meant that whatever you says will happen. No, not for myself. Because whatever I say has to be guided by True Buddha Foundation and other advisors and experts. I rarely command anyone to do anything, not even to my own children. I rarely ask them to do anything. The other day, Fo Qi was at my house, and I saw lots of garbage, and I said, Fo Qi, could you please dump the garbage to the can outside, the garbage can outside, so that on Friday morning I could take the garbage cart outside, and then when I come back home I would bring it back. That was the first time I ever asked for Qi to do something, and never before I asked them to do anything. I always do them myself. One time, Andy, my son-in-law, saw me pulling the garbage cart to outside, and he asked me, can I help you? And I said, no need, I can still do it myself. So I pulled the garbage cart by the roadside in front of the house for the garbage truck to dump. And Andy has done a lot of work for us on his own will, and I never manage or care for things around the house. And I also never ask any disciples to do things for me. So I just follow the heaven and the people. Why do I just follow the wishes of the heaven? You know, it's not that I don't know how to subdue or subjugate, because in Tantrayana there are many of them. Like you can use the Vajra Purva or dagger and use a triangular seal and to do certain visualization, to form a certain mudra, to invoke someone's soul and visualize that person to have like messy hair and bleeding from the 7 orifices, and the Vajrapurva step on his or her back and then form the mudra and recite the mantra. But I never did such subjugation at all. I never cast any spells or cast any curses or black magic. Never did I do such things to anyone. I never cast any spells, any curses, any black magic and I never performed the subjugation dharma to anyone. So I just follow the wishes of the heavens. So whatever the heavens want, then I'll just let it be. So it's not the case that what I want or what I say counts. No, not me. So XX says that whatever she says counts, but I am just circles. So I am like perfect round, and I'm just going with the flow. It's not that what I say counts. So after learning Buddha Dharma for 40 years, never once did I do any subjugation or spells and such things. So I just follow the wishes of the heavens. I don't care what curses and spells people cast on me because I never feel anything. Today, there was a bowl of really hot soup, and it was really hot. So when I was trying to pick the bowl, it was too hot. It was burning, and then you think that, oh, somebody was casting a spell on me. No, that's not the case. It's just because someone was heating a bowl of soup inside the steamer, and when you touched the bowl, it was too hot. So you felt a little bit burned, but that's just it. So if you use gloves and you take the bowl, it's fine. So don't think that someone is casting a spell on you. Or when you walk by a door, and then the handle just hook on the sleeve of my Lama outfit, that's just because you're not careful. You know, it's not that somebody is casting a spell on you. So when you wear underwear or you're wearing this Lama skirt, you have to lean on the wall. Then you would be safer so that you don't fall over. But sometimes you think, oh, it's no big deal. So you just stand on one leg. And when you lift the other leg, you step on the cloth. So you couldn't pull out and you couldn't put down, so you kind of wobble a little bit and you think that, oh, someone is casting a spell on me. No, that's not the case. I never think that people are actually casting spells and curses on me, because my birth date and time are public, which is the 18th of the 5th lunar month of 1945 during the noon time. So if anyone wants to cast a spell on me, it's very easy for them because they have my birth date and time. But I never feel anything about it. So you cannot say that whatever I say counts. There was someone who always been saying that whatever she says counts. And she's been saying it for 8 years. And people from San Francisco knew. There are quite a number of them here today, that she's been saying for 8 years that Grandmaster will pass away at 73. will leave the world. And this year I am 73. And Confucius, the sage, passed away at 73 too. And I am 73 this year. And I had a medical checkup recently. I went to the hospital and had the blood test and urine test. And also had the colonoscopy and the stomach and teeth and the bones and all the reports are all fine. All the reports that we've got so far are all fine. So it shouldn't be 73. And then I consulted Golden Mother, this lady that said that her words counts, predicted that I would leave at 73. Is that true? And Golden Mother told me that when the time comes, she would let me know. And she hasn't. "73 is also like the 70s later elderly man. Mostly people use the people in the 70s are called elderly men, but not in the 60s. But I always feel that I'm only 30s. That I'm in my 30s. Things that even young men cannot do, I can. I often think this way. How come I was so stupid before? When I was in my 20s, I should be considered mature, but I was dumb. 20s, 30s, and 40, I feel that I have wasted my life. People say that at 1 you're born with merriment, at 10 you're into study, at 20 you're at the top of your youth, at 30 you're into your career, at 40 you start to gain weight, at 50 you're at the top of your middle age, at 60 your blood pressure starts to go up, at 70 you start to forget, at 80 you start to wobble when you walk, at 90 you lose your direction, and at 100 you hang on the wall. At 20s, I was still very dumb. At 30s, I was still not so. And at 40s, I was just so-so. And then 50, 60, 70 are my youth. Then finally, I mature. I was really dumb. When I was young, I'm no good at anything. So when I reach 50, 60, and 70, that's just my youth. So I've wasted lots of time. Why didn't I master the Tantric Dharma sooner? I started my Buddhist training at 26. But for the Tantric Dharma, when I was 30, and I only have some success after 20 years of training. So the earlier time was just wasted. And now, at 73, is at the top of my youth. At 73. That was his song. I miss you.
是真的真的好想你，不是假的假的好想你，是够力够力的好想你。我现在是够力够力，才真正够力的时候是70几岁的时候才真正的够力。
I have my power comes when I'm in my 70s. Tantric Dharma is very interesting. The longer you train in it, the more mature you are and the more power you would have. And your power will continually increase.
我现在回想到自己年轻20几岁、30几岁的时候，
你这可以吗？
真的是不及格。到70几岁是算是巅峰，是最及格的时候。
你这可以吗？没有。Sorry, the headphone didn't work. The headphone stopped working.
你说了算我73岁。
But you said that your words counts that I would die at 73. So now I'm very fearsome. I walk carefully. I climb up and down the stairs carefully. And I drive carefully, afraid that if I fall, I would die. So, from the way a person drives, you can tell his or her character and temperament. I never violate the rules. I never get any tickets after driving for so many years.
40多年了吧，也没有拿过一张，我很紧张。
I've driven for over 40 years, and I've never gotten a ticket. And I'm always very careful about things, about a lot of things.
不会讲妄语。
So that's why I don't lie.
我是讲真实语。
I always speak truthfully. The Lotus Youth.
从来不虚伪。
I'm never vain.
自己有什么，自己知道。自己身体有病，自己知道。
What you have, you would know.
控制自己最重要。
And what kind of ailments you have, you know. And the most important thing is to control yourself.
到了老了。
If you abuse your body when you're young, then as you age, your body will abuse you. So, like if someone eat whatever you want when you're young, then at old age, then the body will take revenge on you. So it doesn't matter at what age, You want to be able to control your greed, anger, delusion, doubt, and pride. And even your own body, you want to be able to control your own appetite of food and drink. If I eat everything that the disciples offer to me, if I don't control myself, that I would die long ago, not 273. Like the dishes at the dining table, 6 and 7 bowls and high protein, delicious food, and 5 and 6 bowls of soups. And then if you take them all, then you would die long ago, not till now. So most masters were harmed by the fellow disciples. So the great sage today eats until her body is like a water barrel. Of course, that's because of the fellow disciples too. But she said that she didn't want to be beautiful. So she asked Guan Yin Bodhisattva, so she became ugly. Please don't say it that way. That's because of your own mouth, whatever you eat. So your body is what you eat. How could Guan Yin Bodhisattva let you become swollen like that? She's compassionate and merciful. She wouldn't do that. It's because you eat too much. That's why you become water barrel. So you need to be able to control your own food and drink. Watch your diet. So if your body is heavy, your feet would suffer a lot of stress. So that's cause and effect. Oh, please don't say that you pray to Guan Yin Bodhisattva so that I become really ugly, so that man will not have desire toward me. But let me tell you, from long ago, you're the safe kind. She's of course a sage because man never have any illicit or thoughts seeing her. So I'm not like what I says counts, and Guan Yin Bodhisattva know that Grandmaster is not proud, does not want any fame. I don't care about winning prizes. You know, coming to America, it's very easy to get an honorary PhD or doctorate. When I just came to United States, if you pay $20,000, you can get a bachelor's degree, another $20,000 to get a master's degrees, and $25,000 you can get a PhD, and you can fill in the date yourself. There was that. So Master Sheng-Yen also got a doctorate degree. And then another person saw that Sheng-Yen got a doctorate. He came to United States and also got a doctorate's degree. It's called the Yeji University. It turned out to be like a chicken farm university. So it's very easy for me if I want to get the honorary doctorate degree. Because if the college or the university needs a building and you just offer a donation, then they would let you wear the hat, and then you get the honorary doctorate degree right away. And then when you print the business cards, just take away the honorary, just say you're a PhD. So even when it's an honorary PhD, you're still a PhD, right? But I don't need any of those. I just want to be honest and just do what I'm supposed to do. But of course, things that they're given to me as they like automatically, then I'll just accept. You know, it's like, you know, the certificates given by municipalities and towns and governments. Kuan Yin Bodhisattva is compassionate. Now we pray to Kuan Yin Bodhisattva to bless everyone. Compassion, so that every spiritual cultivator can be healthy. All things goes according to our wishes. All calamities transformed to auspiciousness. That we have strong commitment in spiritual cultivation. And please also help Grandmaster and also all disciples, so that all of their prayers be granted. And those asking for Bardo deliverance can be delivered to the Western Paradise. And anyone who asks for anything can be fulfilled. That's my sincere prayer that I say every day. And I say it in Taiwanese. Health, all wishes fulfilled, all calamities transformed to auspiciousness, strong commitment, spiritual cultivator, and all requesting Bardo deliverance are delivered, and then all wishes of the disciples are fulfilled. Every day I use Taiwanese to pray to Kuan Yin Bodhisattva, and I pray for all the sentient beings. I pray for all who ask for spiritual consultations and for blessings. We pray to Kuan Yin Bodhisattva to be compassionate and greatly bless, so that to fulfill Grandmaster's prayer, so that all beings can have their wishes fulfilled, and may all be auspicious. Now let's talk about Lamdre. Three higher empowerments. One needs to comprehend and visualize that the Vajramaster's body is fully endowed with the perfect three seats. This is the teaching to instruct the disciples who already comprehend that body, speech and mind are the perfect three seats, and the delight, lotus goals are the perfect three seats of the three altars. And the key instruction of the secret empowerment is on the perfect three seats on top of the mantra and the real nature characters. And the key instruction of the wisdom empowerment is on the perfect three seats on top of the real nature bodhicitta. And the key instruction of the fourth empowerment is on the perfect three seats on top of the real nature Qi, vital energy. So here it talks about the 4 kinds of empowerments. As I have mentioned before, first is vase empowerment, and then the 3 higher empowerments, that's empowerment for the inner tantra. So the empowerments for Qi channels and light drops. And then next is the secret empowerment. So secret empowerment, which is touch empowerment. And the highest empowerment is the great perfection empowerment. And the third is wisdom empowerment, and the inner tantra empowerment. And the first kind is the vase empowerment. So these 4 kinds of empowerments, instructions are different. The first kind of empowerment, we can say that belong to Mahayana Buddhism all the way to the deity yoga, from the preliminary practices all the way to the deity yoga and yidam. So the instruction of disciples who comprehend body, speech and mind and the delight lotus skulls are the perfect 3 seats of the 3 altars. So we can say that this is the instructions about consorts. And the secret empowerment is for the 3 seats on top of the mantra and syllables. And the wisdom empowerment is the bodhicitta. And the 4th empowerment is on the perfect 3 seats on top of the real nature Qi. Using simple words, the first empowerment is to practice externally. The vase empowerment is for external practices. And it also includes body, speech and mind. So it's overlaps. The empowerments sometimes overlap. At the beginning of your practice, you train your external body, speech and mind. The Dharma practice of your body, which is your mudra, the hand gesture, and of the speech, that's the mantra, and of the mind, that's visualization. In Tantrayana, mantra, mudra, and visualization. So these are considered the external body, speech and mind. And the internal body, speech and mind includes the Qi, vital energy, channels and light drops. When your Qi, channels and light drops mature, then you can practice the secret empowerment. Then it would be instructed upon you what is a Dakini, what is a goddess, what is a consort. So that belongs to the 3rd level empowerment. And the 4th level empowerment, then you will be instructed on the empty nature, the concept of the empty nature. And the 4 empowerments will generate, first, bliss. You would feel happy, blissful. And then clear light, radiance. You would generate luminosity. You would be able to see light. And you can also absorb light so that your whole body can emit light. And then the highest kind, the great perfection empowerment, then you transform into light and you merge into the empty nature. So that's how the four empowerments are. First, you practice your body, speech, and mind. That's the same as the practice of Mahayana Buddhism. Once your body, speech, and mind are purified, then the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas will guide you to be reborn into the Buddha land. And second, if you train your body, your chi channels and light drops, then you would generate or experience bliss. And then, in the secret empowerment, so the girls with lotus are dakinis, goddesses, and consorts. So you can also not going through the third level empowerment and bypass it and directly go to the fourth level empowerment of great perfection. But if you receive the third empowerment, then you need the dakinis, goddess, and consort, and to generate light. So that's the clear light radiance. And then lastly is the empty nature. So that's the concept of the empty nature. So the three higher empowerments means that you have crossed the border of Mahayana Buddhism and enter into Tantric Buddhism. So chi channels and light drops, and to generate bliss, clear light, and empty nature. This is the direct explanation. And at that time, it's not the Buddha and Bodhisattva guiding you, but you become Buddha and Bodhisattva directly in this body. So which means the body can become the Buddha directly. So, and Buddhahood during Bardo is that when you die, your soul comes out, that's the Bardo, and then you generate light, and then you merge with the light of the universe, and then you have attainment. The highest kind is that you attain Buddhahood in this very body. And the second one is the Buddhahood during Bardo. So when you become a soul, you transform into light and merge into the empty nature. So that's the slight difference, relying on the body to attain Buddhahood. So three empowerments with three levels. If you have attainment in the vase empowerment, you're guaranteed to be reborn into the Buddha land. The Buddhas and Bodhisattvas will appear and guide you to the Buddha land. And if you have attainment of the body, speech, and mind, then you would experience great bliss. The attainments of body, speech, and mind. No. The attainment of the chi, channel, and light drops, which is the second level empowerment. If you have this attainment, then you would also generate light. And then together with the goals, lotus goals, then your light luminosity would be brightened. And lastly, at the great perfection empowerment, then you can transform it to become Buddha nature. So 4 kinds of empowerments are explained this way. And you can place syllables and mantra on each of the seats. Also on the altar of the bodily channels in Tantrayana, typically the 6 syllables appear first that transform to become Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. In our visualization, you start with the 6 syllable or the characters that transform into Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. And here it's written, inside the central channels of the 5 or the 6 palaces are the seats of the Buddha and consorts. Of the 157 deities are the seats of the bodhisattvas and goddesses, and on the 8 major joints and fine channels are the wrathful males and female seats. Like I said, all the joints are decided by the wrathful deities, and the 5 palaces here at the brow, throat, heart, navel, and secret chakras are called the 5 palaces. And they are all the seats of the Buddhas and their consorts. And the 6 palaces, what are the 6 palaces? Sometimes 7 palaces. The top, the crown chakra, and the base chakra is also considered a palace. But here it said 6 palaces. They are the seats of the Buddhas and consorts. And 157 are the seats of the bodhisattvas and goddesses. So inside your body mandala, like at your 5 sense organs, they all, you can check in the sutras, like which bodhisattva dwells on the eyes, on the nose, ears, mouth, tongue, all parts of the body. They are bodhisattvas and Buddhas. So bodhisattvas and goddesses and all the joints of our body are the seats of the wrathful deities or herukas, Vajra protectors. So that's the body mandala. And they use the 6 syllable and mantra. It's written here. The syllables Zhong Yang Jin Kang Hom. So the syllables of the 5 Buddhas, these are all Sanskrit characters. Yang Lan Mang Bang Tan are the seats of the consorts. And Mang So Sun Qi, etc. 6 syllables and 24 syllables of Pu at the seats of the goddesses. And at the 8 joints and the tip of the head and center of the souls are the 10 long Hom 6 syllables. The wrathful deities. I've said this, that most wrathful deities transform from the Hom syllables. So you can place them using the syllables. How does the bodhicitta altar become the perfect 3 seats? The pure item of the ambrosia is the Buddha's seat. The 4 kinds of bliss plus the sky are the consort's seats. The eye and the sense organs, the teeth, nails, altogether 24 kinds are the seats of the bodhisattvas. They are the physical parts of the seats of the goddesses. The limbs and all the branches are the seats of the wrathful deities, which is the seats of the Vajra protectors. They explain it using all different things. The pure ones are the Buddha's seats. The blissful and the sky are the seats of the consorts, and all the organs, teeth and nails, 24 kinds are the bodhisattva seeds. And the other physical forms are the seats of the goddesses, and the limbs and the joints are the wrathful deities' seats. So similar explanation using different ways. These three seats of the three altars are actually established based on utilizing the body as the path. This is to allow the yogi to be able to generate yogic experiences and to transform its fruit to be regarded as the perfect three seats that are established on the four pramana. It's explaining all the seats on the bodily channels, which bodhisattva sitting at which part, and they all are inside our body, and this is considered the body mandala. And then the next one is about the wisdom potential chi. And in Tantrayana, we first talk about mandala. In the development stages of Tantrayana, we first talk about the mandala or the altar first. In the exposition of the development stages of Tantrayana, how to set up the altar. So today we also talk about this. We all know the 5 Buddhas at the 5 palaces, and all the Vajra protectors are on the joints. So that's your body mandala. And the eyes, ear, nose, tongue, body, and mind, they're all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. And the 5 Buddhas have the 5 consorts, and the 8 major Bodhisattvas have their consorts. So the same concept. And also seats of the goddesses, seats of the consorts, and seats of the wrathful deities, seats of the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, Herukas, protectors, Dakinis, 5 kinds of seats. They all exist inside your body. Before marriage, the man can't fall asleep thinking about words you have said. After marriage, he's falling asleep before you finish talking. So that's the difference. I often said, before marriage, the girl asked the boy, before marriage, when you see your girlfriend, your heart would beat fast, like the small deer jumping all over. But after marriage, the deer is dead. So it's different after marriage. The wife asked, when we were dating, your eyes were sparkling. And we had chemistry, but how come now you never look at me? And the husband replied, I want to save on electricity. And the wife asked, But how come your eyes still spark when you see the young, beautiful girls? Oh, that's because that's a warning sign that I have a wife. Please don't get close. So he has all the excuses. So from Lamdre we know where we place the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, and there's reason for all of them. They all can be explained. When you're young, when you see a girl, then you would be electrified, and the girl also electrified. So, but after marriage, you don't feel the electricity. No more chemistry, but you still want to live your days together. There's no more feelings. However, gentlemen get along very as plain as water. When I work at the power company, my aunt and uncle lived in Hualien, and my uncle drove me to work, and he was the head of the human resources. And I noticed the service. My uncle, I noticed his eyes are always going toward beautiful girls. And I thought, oh no. Every time he sees a beautiful lady, he would definitely follow her. And then ultimately, I feel the same way. It's a very natural reaction. You're always happy to see beautiful ladies. But saying that when your eyes sparkle seeing beautiful ladies, it's just like to give her warning. That's just lie. The wife was very angry toward her husband. Why are you looking at my diary? And the husband was very reluctant and say, how did you know? Because I saw in your diary and you wrote that you looked at my diary yesterday. So they all doing it to each other. Living like that is quite meaningless because they're guarding toward each other. The elephant and the ant sworn to become brothers. And one day, the elephant got in a car accident and was in emergency at the hospital. And the ant, hearing that, hurried to the hospital and met the rabbit. And where are you going? And he said, I'm going to the hospital to give blood transfusion to my brother, the ant, to the elephant. So that's a joke. I often talk about the joke between elephant and ant. So the elephant married the ant, and the elephant was swimming in the pool. And the ant asked the elephant to get out of the water. And the elephant said, "What? Why?" And then he got out of the water. And then the ant said, "Well, okay, you can get back to the water." And the elephant asked, "Why did you ask me to do that?" "Because I want to check if you're wearing my swim trunk." The elephant and the ant are just no match because one is so small, the other one is so big. I always feel that X is a truly great person. Ever since I was born until now, at 73, I've never met such a great person. So in front of X, Grandmaster Lu is just like an ant, and she's an elephant. I am so puny, so small, really. Some people want to get Grandmaster's blankets and pillows that Grandmaster has used, and I found it strange. Why did you want to buy the blanket that I've used, or the bed sheets and the pillows? Why do you want all of them? I felt kind of embarrassed. That I feel that I don't, my practice with spiritual cultivation is not that bad. It's not that good, so why do you want them? But X is different. She sold even the bed that she's been on. And I heard the person that bought the bed wanted to kill herself. And one more. And the person who bought the blanket that she's used went mad too. So we're not as great as she is. I don't want to sell things that I have used. But I heard that she would use over 10 bed sheets or use lots of blankets so that she can sell more of them. I'm not as great as she is, so please, no need to buy my stuff. I'm not that great. I'm just ordinary. At the movie theater, someone checking the tickets and said, "How come those elderlies only pay half?" And there's an old man replied, "Because we only watch half of it, the other half we fell asleep." We fall asleep. But X is great. She fell asleep in the movie theater. And then the movie ended, and someone asked her, "How come you've fallen asleep?" And she said, "Oh, you undermine me? I went to another planet. I've gone to the other planet, and now that the movie ends, I just came back." Oh heavens, she's gone to another planet, but I just go into my own dream. Huge difference. So I really respect her. I've thought about just crawling from Seattle to San Francisco to take refuge in her. Because she could communicate to all the animals, and I can't. So I have to learn that from her, because that's good. I can earn money. I can become the caretaker of the zoo. In this world, there's only one person that can talk to all the animals and the birds. I've never heard of any other human being that can talk to the birds and the animals. There's only one. Really? I should crawl and roll to San Francisco to treat her as my guru, because I have no such ability. I've said this, that when Sakyamuni Buddha descended, the Buddha asked her to extend my hand, and she wrote it. It was in the transcription that she felt at peace now that her hand was held by Sakyamuni Buddha. No, Sakyamuni Buddha had violated the precept of sexual misconduct, because Sakyamuni Buddha was an ordained monk. How could a monk held a woman's hand? If Sakyamuni Buddha had done that, wouldn't you feel bad? And you also have breached the precept. So monks, nuns, upasaka, upasaki. So the teachings of the original Buddhism is that a monk cannot look directly to the eyes of a lay woman, and you cannot talk more than a few sentences. And how could you hold a hand, a woman's hand? Because that wasn't Sakyamuni Buddha, that was the ghost. There was a ghost, and of course a ghost would do sexual misconduct. One day in a crowded bus, the daughter saw the handicapped seat and asked her dad to sit on it. Yeah. But I said that, oh no, that's just for the elderly man, woman, pregnant ladies with big tummies. And then the daughter said, but you also have big tummy, so you can sit there. No, that's not allowed. We have to abide by the rules, and we cannot lie. So, from her sentences, you can tell there are lots of holes, lots of problems. In each of the articles, there are holes and problems with it. It's just those lacking wisdom easily delusioned by her. So there are a lot of problems even in her communication with animals. So it's impossible for Sakyamuni Buddha to hold her hand. Why? Because that's the teaching of the Buddha, that the precepts in Hinayana are very strict, that you cannot use your eyes to see the eyes of a woman. And when you're talking, you have to maintain a distance and your eyes looking at the ground, and you cannot say more than 5 sentences. And you just say the important things, and you cannot just chat. How can he hold a woman's hand? So those were the rules of Sakyamuni Buddha for the upper seats. And in Mahayana Buddhism, there are the corresponding precepts, and also in Tantrayana Buddhism, they have the corresponding precepts. Mom asked Xiaoming, so you want a score of 100 or the electric toy? So, oh, you're good that you want to be a score of 100. And Xiaoming replied, because Dad said if I get 100, then I would get the electric toy. So he wants both. So what time is it now? Almost 10:30. So now I would like to say that our group practice today is the last group practice in Seattle this year. So very happy to see many disciples from faraway places here today. And Grandmaster Phil would like to apologize that Grandmaster's Dharma teaching may not be perfect. Maybe Grandmaster's Dharma teaching has some shortcomings, and Grandmaster's Dharma teachings are not the most superior, and sometimes I feel I'm not perfect. I'm just natural and goes with the flow. You know, I just allow things to happen naturally. Sometimes I just ask the masters, and sometimes I'm testing the masters, but sometimes who knows, the masters are embarrassed. So I like to apologize. You know, Grandmaster definitely have some shortcomings. Grandmaster is not perfect. I have many shortcomings. Have some faults, and I would like to hear your recommendations, suggestions, and the sounds of your hearts. But I have to say about the problems of X, I had no choice, because she did worship and employ the ghost. we can say that it's her affinity to worship the ghost, but in Buddhism, it's not. It's not Buddhism, and it cannot be that whatever she says counts. So I have to point it out. And she moved the tombstone of a ghost temple to your altar, and then created the statues of 3 Japanese and 2 Chinese heads of ghosts. And then you elevated them to become protectors, to become generals. But many people who have visited it were attached by the ghosts and spirits. So if Grandmaster had been like that, you can correct me too. If you are a Buddhist, then you should worship Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. The Buddha never taught us to worship ghosts. No other Buddhist monasteries or Buddhist schools ever taught us to worship ghosts. So if Grandmaster has made any mistakes, if the words Grandmaster had said about X were wrong, please correct me. You can correct me. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for your listening to Grandmaster's Dharma teachings this past 6 months. I never heard that a tantric practitioner or a Buddhist practitioner who worship ghosts. She must be number one because she worships so many ghosts, tens of thousands of them. And she wrote it herself, where the ghosts came from the tsunami in Indonesia, the death from the tsunami in Indonesia, from 9/11 disaster, from the 228 calamity in Taiwan, and the ghosts from hell, and those who died from the Second World War, and all the deaths in Taiwan, and Washington, D.C., those who died from the Vietnam and Korean wars. She enticed them all. But she said, but the way she said it was different. She said, think about it. She said, we have to be compassionate, and we have to take care of the ghosts too. And the headquarters is at her place, and then at our temples, chapters, and centers are the branches. So without the permissions, our permissions, she installed all the ghost tablets all over the world. And we didn't even know that you dispatched the ghosts to all of us. Jifang's father, at his old age, he was living in the third house there of the Seattle Temple. When he woke up at night to go to the bathroom, he could see lots of ghosts here in the square. And Jifang's dad could speak Japanese, and he was speaking Japanese to the ghost. So they spoke Japanese. So think about it. This is just one knowledge, one example. So if you claim that you're the most compassionate, that you even gather all the ghosts, but you lied that the ghosts have become god generals or general gods. So easy? Well, in that case, then we all just become ghosts, then really fast, then we can become gods. And then go to the Pure Lands so easily. Very simple logic. Can a person gather and provide shelter all the prisoners of the world? Say, True Buddha School is so compassionate that we can take in all the prisoners. Is it possible? No. Can you take in all the homeless in America? Can True Buddha School do that? No. That's just an analogy. It's just a comparison. Because they're all very vicious ghosts, very violent ghosts. So if you're attached by it, then you would have thoughts of killing yourself. As an example, Master Lien Tong's dad, he just helped her Heruka Hall, and then he got attached by the ghost and he was told to go die. So we know how much we can take in, how much we can handle. So all the ghosts now, you can free yourself from them. Huh? What did they say? It's easy to invite the ghosts in, but it's very difficult to send them off. So it's probably hard for you.